What suggestions do you give in order to address the foreign interference and current political scenario of Nepal?
The most important understanding that we have to create and we have to do is like no nation can be stronger if people are weaker. This is what not understood in Nepal. For example, some people talk about bringing monarchy back. Is it possible to become a stronger monarch, rule Nepal with weaker people? If people were stronger, monarchy would not go. So, political party think that they are stronger, therefore they can rule. No. No political party can rule without strong people. Some organization and intellectual believes that it is their ideas rules the country. No. They cannot, their ideas cannot rule the country without stronger people. So the fundamental principle is how to make our people stronger. And if you want to make your people stronger, you can do your partisan politics, but you cannot divide people. You should let the people united. Ask people to give vote what they want to give vote to. But do not make people enemy to each other. But what is the problem of this country right now? And why intervention is becoming so sharp and so plummeting in Nepal is that we have divided people. A congressman considers a communist man as an enemy. Okay? A man from western part of Nepal and the man from the eastern part of Nepal consider they are different. People who believe themselves as Janajati and people who believe themselves as Brahmin and Kshatris, they think they are different. So this is the problem today. You cannot block and you cannot suspend or you cannot address the problem of interference in Nepal if you leave these people divided. So the question is the failure of monarchy to make the people stronger, failure of the Communist Party of Nepal to make the people stronger, failure of the Nepalese Congress to make the people stronger, and none of the even smaller parties have been talking about how to make people stronger. So united people is the best solution to dispel the interference from Nepal one. So we should work to create a very pragmatic patriotism in Nepal. We should believe that we are Nepalese. We should cultivate a sense in Nepalese people that we are Nepalese. We are free. We are independent. We have been recognized as Nepalese because we have a nation. If we lose this nation, what we lose is our identity. So, the fundamental thing over the last 20 years the political party did is like they largely ignored the patriotism of the people, which is a foundation for the existence of nation. They talked political ideology as the primary thing, emphasizing political ideology as the foundation, ignoring patriotism. The country became very weak today. People become deluded, people become divided, people became quite confused. Therefore, I often say, if you are a patriotic man, you will work in Nepal, you will not go to other country. Therefore, I say, I am ready to die in this country. I will be starved. I will die without food, but I will not go out of this country. Because I live with this sense of my Nepali identity. So why people go to America? Why people go to apply for DB? Why people go to apply for PR? Why people go to Saudi Arabia to work? You have work here. Because the sense of patriotism is becoming very, very affected and very, very misled. That's what I say. So question is like, suggestion, the fundamental suggestion is like, now there should come out a movement in Nepal an intellectual movement to start making people think that their existence is because of this country. So it is not this country to give to them, but it is they are to give it to this country. This is one thing. If we are able to unite our people, there would not be a division in the name of religion, in the name of ethnicity, in the name of geography, in the name of culture and other one thing. So let every people respect their culture. Let every people respect their language, speak their language, live with their own identity, but politically we have to make them feel that they are Nepalese. Okay, one thing. The second thing is that there are too many important cultural, civilizational attributes this Nepal is, this country is founded on. We have a 5,800-year-old Kirat civilization. So what does it mean? Kirat started ruling as a third dynasty in Nepal. If you count from that point of view, then this country has a history of 5,800 years old. Is India, is there any country in state in India with this history? No. So Kirat civilization and Mundum religion is the oldest religion, civilization and philosophy of this country. We should respect that. So therefore I say, I was born in Pastor, in area of Kirat people. I have 9 generations over there. So in this 9th generation, I have been completely assimilated with Kirat civilization. So I say, by ethnicity, I am Brahmin, but by civilization, I am Kirat. So we have to respect that civilization, and we have to respect that philosophy, and we have to respect that religion. Second very important factor we have is the birth of Gautam Buddha here. So we have 2,800 years long history of Buddhist civilization here, Buddhist culture here, Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist religion. And with this Buddhist religion, we got our connection established with China and India. So we gave Buddhism to China. China Buddhism, which is called Dhyana Buddhism in Sanskrit and Pali. Chinese could not pronounce Dhyana, therefore it became Chana. Is the official Buddhism in China. And Chana Buddhism was taken to China by Buddhabhadra in 2nd century. Okay, in 2nd century. And he was the one who established Shaolin Temple in China. So we have given a civilization to China. This country is a very proudful country. If we do not respect Buddhism as a pillar of the nation, like Mundum and Kirat civilization as the pillar of the nation, exactly Vedic Sanatan religion, Vedic Sanatan philosophy and Vedic Sanatan culture, they are 2-3 different things. Okay, Vedic Sanatan philosophy also stands together with Mundum and Kirat civilization. They were together. Little older is what intellectuals have said that Rig Veda was written, then Mundum was written. So therefore there are cross fertilization in Mundum, in Buddhism and Vedic civilization. Okay, these 3 have taken, each has taken from another. So we have 3 civilizations. We have Mithila civilization. If we respect this civilization and give them a space to feel that I am Nepalese but I am Mithila, I am Nepalese but I am Kirat, I am Buddhist but Nepalese, I am Vedic but I am Nepalese. But what we are doing? There are people who have been demanding to declare this country as a Hindu state. So what will be with these 27% of Janajatis who do not hold Hindu faith, but they have a Buddhist faith. Gurung have Buddhist faith. Rai Limbu have Mundum faith. So will you drive them away of this country? So second thing, what is solution is like, it is not necessary to declare Nepal as a dharma nirapeksha. This is useless. Okay, everything has a quality. Dharma is gun, that means quality. How something can exist without quality? If human being does not have the quality, how he or she can become human being? So dharma nirapekshata, social secularism, which Westerner believe differently and we believe differently, that is written in constitution, is a cause of fraction, cause of cracks among Nepalis. So that word should not be there. But it is also not necessary that Nepal is Hindu, Nepal is Buddhist, Nepal is Kirat. It is better to recognize in constitution that Nepal has three fundamental ancient civilization with religion. They are Vedic Sanatan Dharma and civilization, Buddhist civilization and Dharma, and Kirat civilization and Mundum Dharma. If we write that in constitution, we come together. So that would therefore create a blend of the people. That would create a kind of a sense of ownership to all. And we can also write Mithila civilization is another fundamental component of Nepalese civilization. If we put these three things together, Nepal would be united. So I urge the people not to divide this country. I urge to believe that Mithila, Kirat, Buddhism, Vedic Sanatan, cross-fertilizing each other are the boon of this country. They are cultural foundation. They are philosophical foundation of this country. So these are so democratic religion, democratic philosophy. Okay, I say that I'm a Brahmin, but they don't require me to wear janai. Without wearing janai, I'm still a Brahmin. So this is what the education. So I suggest the state to take the culturalization of the society, the destruction caused by the westernization in the name of the globalization needs to be deconstructed now. So what I therefore call is the renasha of our civilization. It doesn't mean that we have to follow the superstitions that we develop. We have to give up this superstition. But we have fundamental philosophies. This philosophy should be given a charge again. And that's what another suggestion of mine. Third is, no country can be developed by investment from outside. Every country in the world is developed by their people's effort. See China, see India, see Korea. It's not the American economy brought in Korea, therefore Korea is developed. It's not the economy brought in Japan, therefore Japan is developed. It is Japan, which is developed today, is because of the efforts of the Japanese people. So it is because of the efforts of the Chinese people. So what we need to do is like enhance the productivity of people, creativity of the people, intellectuality of the people, and the persistence of the people. So that is what is my economic theory that I have discussed in my book. Okay, what I say is like, if you follow the objectively functional theory of development, you bring all efforts for the productive enhancement of the vector of life of the people. So people will be happy. They will change their life. It's not the state change the life of the people. People change their life by themselves. What state therefore has to do, what state has therefore to give is the productive education to the people, infrastructure and the market. People will produce the production, or the product should have market. See what is happening. People are producing vegetable in this country, but the market is taken by Indian vegetables. Indian vegetable is subsidized. So that comes in cheaper price in the Nepalese market. Therefore, Nepalese people cannot sell their vegetables. Lands are barren. They are unfertile, they are unproductive and unproductive now. Because people do not want to stay in Nepal. Because they don't have sense of that deeper patriotism. They say that they are poor. But some people are selling their 1 bighah of land in 10 lakhs and they are going to Saudi Arabia. This is a kind of, are they unemployed? They sell the land, they go to Saudi Arabia. How you can say that you are poor? Therefore, productive culture that we need. Productive culture, Nepal has to do three very fundamental things. One, Nepal has to stop import of foods from other part of the world. We should produce food for Nepalese people. Okay, we can replace 2 billion rupees a year. One thing. We should produce meat for ourselves. We should produce fruits for ourselves. The local consumption should be made by the production in the country. One. Therefore, agriculture is the priority. Second thing, every Nepalese has little saving now, whether it is in the bank or at the home. There are a lot of people in Nepal who have 20,000, 25,000 rupees at home because they want to keep it for the urgency. If you ensure that income, and if the government asks for investment, if you collect 25,000 rupees from 3 million people, suppose they are able to invest 30,000, how much money is there? Huge money. You can develop your country. You need to emphasize your technology. Your people should work. Your engineers should get priority. Your lawyers should get priority. Your doctors should get priority, kind of thing. So mobilization of the resources with productive mind, and that's what I often call is the mass production and mass productivity. If we do it, then we will stop intervention. Crux, let me say it in one sentence. Stability cannot lead to the economic development. This is a wrong theory. You have to push economic development will result in political stability. So what is the wrong policy being implemented in Nepal is that we will have a political stability and then we will do economic development. This is wrong. By hook and crook, by all means, by education to people, we have to ask the people, please produce. I will give you the market. So let's make the economic development as faster as possible. We become stronger economically. So if you have a money by your production, why you don't be in the INGOs? Why you go to work in INGOs knowing that is working against your nation? So people go enlist in these organizations because they have no money. So question therefore is productive economy, which I say objectively functional development, which China pursued. China did develop that way. That is what Rwanda is doing. That is what Cuba is doing. That is what Uganda is doing. And that is what Bhutan is doing. And certain part of India is doing. So we have to follow. But we have been deluded. We have been misled by the neoliberalist principle of World Bank and International Monetary Fund. And this country so far have only neoliberalist home minister, finance ministers. So these are the fundamental thing that you can get rid of foreign intervention. But you simply cannot come like lies in your head. You can collect the foreigners and throw out. If you can throw out foreigners out of territory, then influence will come from internet. So question is not that territory. Question is your economic boom, economic prosperity. Then people start becoming patriotic. And if someone come and try to influence you, for example, I have seen 200 rupees given by an organization, a person has agreed to convert into Christianity. If you have money, why they convert? Like there are a lot of Hindus in America, Netherlands and UK. They are not converted. They understood Hindu philosophy, so they converted into Hinduism. Let the people convert into Christian if they are convinced in the faith. If they like Jesus is better philosopher, better God than Krishna and Buddha, by his realization you cannot stop. That's a freedom of individual. But are people today converting into Christianity because of faith? They don't know. They don't know who is Jesus. They don't know what is Bible. They only know that worship the Jesus because you have got a money. Okay, so that's what I have written in this book so tremendously. And I have not given my example. I have not given my assumption. All these informations I have collected is from the collected from the foreigners who did research. What they claim is that foreigners from America and other European countries, including Korea and Taiwan, they come to Nepal with money and they give money and they convert. So poverty is the cause of conversion. So therefore, what is the fact that you address? Conversion is not the right way of addressing the problem. What is the factor that will address the poverty? Is the factor, okay, is the principle that will stop people converting into non-faith-based Christianity. That's what I say. Therefore, the economic development is the most important thing. Therefore, I have called, we became scapegoat of international influence from the western part of the world in measure for containing China and India. So we suffered from India and China. So my urge therefore, a lot of Chinese intellectual and leaders now, wherever I'm speaking, I'm saying is like, China failed to understand that this problem of Nepal's political instability and poverty is not an outcome of internal problem of Nepal. China still believes that this is internal problem of Nepal. Nepal is in political instability because of Nepal's politics. China still believes that Nepal is poor not because of something else, but it is internal crisis of Nepal itself. No, wrong. China should understand now. Nepal is suffering from instability and poverty because there are players playing game in Nepal against China, and India should also understand that Nepal is becoming politically sick and economically sick, not because Nepal is inherently sick, but it is because of players playing game against India. So if these two countries do not come and invest their technology, money is not important. We are not looking for money to them. What we are looking for is like their technology, their innovation and education, their expertise, okay, their science, and their other innovative ideas that they can give to us. They can modernize our agriculture with organic features. They can help protecting our forest. They can help us educating our farmers to use scientific means of production. They can give us better colleges. Okay, they can establish better colleges, agriculture colleges, medical colleges, engineering colleges, law colleges, management colleges. If they do not do it, Nepal will fail. Nepal will be a failed state. If Nepal becomes a failed state, it is the Westerners in the name of United Nations will come here and they will be our biggest security threat to China and India. So if Nepal fails, larger part of China will fail. So if they do not want to create a problem for them also, the first duty of Chinese and Indian government is to come and help Nepal, to come out of this poverty and Nepal become a smart, economically fine. We will work. What they are supposed to give is investment, not as an assistance, but as a kind of productive investment what will go back to them later on. So this is the misunderstanding of our neighbor we have been suffering. So my suggestion is that lot of intellectual should write this kind of book. They should understand what is the problem. They should go to India, convince Indian politician, convince Indian intellectual. They should go to China. They should convince Chinese intellectuals, Chinese leadership that we are suffering because of the external interference, and that external interference is targeted to you. If you do not rescue us, they will deepen their claws, their tentacles in Nepal, and if that happens, one day there will be problem to you. If this is done, I think Nepal can be developed.
Well, before the last question, why some people criticize you, you blindly support of current government of Nepal?
That is their misconception. I don't support this government blindly. I also do not oppose this government blindly. I am critical. Let me tell this kind of people who see that I am supporting this government. Over the last 20 years, how many governments failed? Too many governments failed. They tried to block the constitution coming out and create a debacle, create a Nepal, a failed state, for failing to bring the constitution. There are a lot of problems in this constitution, a lot of mistakes in this constitution. But what would happen had this constitution not promulgated at that time? Country would already have been in a civil strife, and the people would declare that Nepal is a failed state. Okay, so by having even not a perfect constitution, we prevented Nepal being declared as a failed state. Then there was an election. After election, there is a government. This is a government with majority, and we have practiced the rule of majority. Who wins majority will rule. Okay. So there is a majority government. Don't tell that what is majority of 2/3 or something. There is, by game of democracy, there is a government installed by the majority. So there was a time we prevented ourselves falling in a trap of failed state. Then almost there was a crisis of forming the government. When this government was formed, it had to wait for 3 months. The lot of constitutional crises were provoked. And it was said that it is not possible to form the government without having National Assembly election. 3 months was gone by. Then Prime Minister was elected by the House of Representatives. Then there was an issue of what was there. Who is the one to give the vote to the Prime Minister was an issue. See the Supreme Court situation, what happened. Impeachment, the Chief Justice, three Chief Justice thrown away by the politics. Now, there is a party which has almost 2/3 majority. The opposition is weak. Suppose if this government is also in trouble and we push it to the failure, who will come to rule you? Will the monarchy be able to take control of the country right now? Will opposition will be able to rule the country? So, if you see from 1992, Girija Prasad Koirala was caused to fail. He dissolved the parliament and lost its position. Manmohan's government could not go more than 9 months. Deuba's government after that could not go for more than 9 months. Then Shurya Bahadur government was for 6 months. Lokendra Bahadur Chand's government was 6 months. And then these are 24 or 25 governments for 6 months. Do you still want to cause that trouble and then put people into a kind of dilemma? So I support this government, not because it has done good. To be very frank, I have not seen any minister of this government. I have not spoken to any minister of this government. I had a very brief time with the Prime Minister many months before, just to talk some simple issues. I have not seen it. So I am not getting salary from this government. I am not getting any position from this government. Then why should I support this government as they think? I am supporting this government. The reason is like, though this government is not giving that much fruits to the people, but to protect the country fall into the trap of failure and Nepal being declared as a failed state, as a conscious citizen, that's my duty. Those people who want to oppose the government, ask this question to them. Who is the next party? Who is the next person to rule this government? So we have to drag this government to the next election. There is no other option. If you make this government fail despite 2/3 majority, then who will? Indra will come to rule in Nepal? If some people believe that king can come right now and take over, no. King will be made. Even if he comes, he will be made failure. If Dhurba will come, he will be failure. If Prachanda will come, he will be made failure. Like this government is also forced to be failure. I do not support or oppose this government. As a conscious citizen, what I see is like how to preserve my country from falling in a trap of failed state. That's one the concern. I am most critical man. I am very critical person to speak against the government also. So there is an attempt. Some people after this book, where I have criticized all political parties, Communist Party, Congress, individual leaders, Western countries, INGOs, some people are hard trying me to prove that I am a supporter of this government. Therefore, this book should not be read. So that is also a conspiracy. So those people who criticize me that I support the government, I have no hesitation to blame them. They are also agents of the interferers, the agencies.
Okay, at last, what will bring peace and prosperity in our nation?
I think if people unite, as I said before, patriotically, and they work for a nation, they stand against the political parties for their wrongs, they censor the political parties, they stop running behind political parties for all bad agenda of the leaders. They can be the part of the political party, but if they grow critically and warn their leaders like this is not the way that you can do. You're not the master of this country. You're not my master. People are the master of the country. If people unite that way, the first step Nepal will go towards the prosperity. Second thing I already pointed out, Nepalese people should enhance their learning. Those people working in the agriculture should be trained and they should be made smart farmers. A lawyer who is practicing in the court should learn the newest ideas of jurisprudence and law and should represent the country in law in any part of the world. A doctor should gain that quality, therefore he can treat the sick people of this country in this country so that people should not go. What I was emphasizing is like after we enhance our learning, then we have to rurally corporatize our income. Whatever saving that we have to collect together. So the government should enhance the way through law for the people to collect income, make a company and invest. Because if one person invests, money is not enough. Even if he suffers, then he suffers alone. But if you bring money together and corporatize through small collection of money and work together, I think people can make more and more benefit. So what I have been suggesting government for last many months is like, please call the people to invest, but you have to provide insurance to that income. So even if you fail, then their money will not be lost. Okay, project may fail, but if you have an insurance, the people will not lose the money. So that's the kind of thing. So the question is like three things I say. First, enhancement of the patriotic feeling. Patriotic feeling in the sense that we should live in country, we should work for the country, and we should dedicate ourselves to make our country as a developed country is the one pillar. Second, Constitution also says depend on mobilization of the national income, national saving and national resources. That is another pillar. We can grow and make bigger modern industries when we will have a sufficient income to live as a better life. And third is national interest. Run behind the national interest. Practice democracy. Divide yourself into political party, no problem. But when there is a national interest, please don't be communist, don't be Congress, don't be royalist, anything. So it is the nation, not the political party, not the king, and not anything else is passed. The nation is passed. Therefore, I support political party only after I feel that I'm Nepalese and I'm a patriotic. I support nation. Sure, if I have to choose my political party and nation, I will choose nation. If I have to choose king and the nation, I will choose nation. Okay. If I have to choose my family and nation, I will choose nation. So this is what. So these pillars, these three pillars will take Nepal towards the prosperity. But one day, Nepal will be prosperous. If this political party fail, another generation of politicians will come. If these intellectual fail, another generation of intellectuals will come. So that's one of the reasons, like by media, by lectures, by orientation, by music and everything, Nepal now stands in a time that we have to encourage people. We should not prostrate people. We have to inspire people, and we have to tell them that this is the people who make the nation. This is not the king. This is not the leader. So this is the message, I think, guide Nepalese people's prosperity.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Yubaraj Sangroula, for giving us time.
Also, thank you for you giving chance to explain my ideas and also introduce my book.